Welcome to PulsChat. EGD and Sick Critic News. Join in! How is it going, guys? Welcome to our first ever Pulse Chat. It's pretty similar to the last two things we did, although we now have a name, which is better, and a better focus for it as well. I'm obviously joined by my Sick Critic friends here, and Grandma number 1 and Grandma number 2 is what I'll be calling them for now. But either way, we have our general topics and chit-chat that we're going to be doing during this one, so I hope you guys enjoy yourself, and keep in mind, we are doing a Q&A at the end if you have a question for me, Sick Critic as a whole, EGD as a whole, and blah, blah, blah. So let's get started.
Whoop! What's up?
Whoop, whoop. What's up, my friendicles, my fresticles?
Not a whole lot. Not a whole lot.
Yeah, just trying to get over my wonderful cold.
Yeah, I know. So I'm still pretty sick, to be honest.
Well, I was going to say, I'm going to apologize ahead of time for anybody that's listening / watching, because I'm going to be clearing my throat a lot because I still have this awesome sore throat that has actually kept me from going to work today. So that was fun.
Well, I mean, yeah, at least you don't have to work, so.
Yeah, but here's the thing is, there's only one other guy that does, like, my job with me, and like, if I'm gone, he has to do everything. So I feel really bad, like, kind of shafting him with it.
I actually think that's funny.
I mean, if you did our job, you wouldn't think it's funny. Our job is not fun by any means. I mean, it's kind of a brainless job, but there's a lot to do.
Well, I'm still feeling pretty sick.
Yeah,
but
we
can power through this. I have some alcohol. It's not good alcohol, but it's enough to keep me buzzed. So anyway, so our first topic, we're just gonna dive into this one immediately. Before I give my general opinion, and I would like to see everyone's opinions for the people that are watching currently right now as well, which would be Death, Xavier, Typically Bad, Ocean, Jaden, Mr. Seeks, all of you guys, Red Panda, thank you guys for joining us and being the first ones to say something so that I can see that you're here. But anyway, thoughts on ports, just as a whole. Ports for the Switch, ports for any console. My main focus is the Nintendo Switch, personally, because that's the one that people are kind of rubbing me the wrong way with. But what are your general thoughts on ports?
Depends on the title. My general thought, honestly, is lazy, but for some ports, I think it's acceptable, considering they haven't been around for a while. So, like Skyrim coming to the Switch, I think that's lazy. But then again, it's also kind of cool because you get to play mobile Skyrim. So I don't know. It kind of has, that catch-22 thing. Sometimes it's good. Sometimes I would prefer, a rather new title than a port, but can't always get that.
You know what would have made a Skyrim port better than it was? If they had that motion plus type controls for it, I probably would have been okay with it. Except for their stupid waggle bullshit.
Yeah.
My thought on the whole ports thing is, it's fine if you're bringing it like a lot of, like, okay, perfect example, Mario Kart 8. That was on Wii U. Not a whole lot of people got the Wii U because they didn't really know what it was when the Wii U came out. They were like, oh, it looks like it's some weird adaptation of the Wii.
Exactly.
So not a whole lot of people got it, including myself. So when they brought out the Switch, and I was like, oh, shit, like, I'm going to get this for sure. And then they brought out Mario Kart. I was like, I'm going to get Mario Kart because I didn't have the Wii U, so I'm definitely going to buy it this time around. That's fine. But, like, when you're doing, like... And again, I can't really say too much on Skyrim because I had it for the 360, and I got really far. I didn't completely beat it, but when they brought it to the PlayStation 4, I was like, okay, well, I'm going to get this again because I was only borrowing it from a friend beforehand. But it's like they've been throwing the Skyrim thing around forever now.
Yeah.
It's on way too many things now. It's like, okay, you guys can kind of cool it down. And I'm sure Devin would agree with me on this when I say just drop Elder Scrolls 6 already.
Yep.
It's time. We need it.
Yeah, so here's the deal with me. People that don't know anything about how the gaming industry works, for starters, and for two, being selfish. The idea of ports for the Nintendo Switch and then people getting upset about it that were Wii U owners kind of bothers me. Because I was a Wii U owner myself. So, for example, when with Donkey Kong, they're porting the Donkey Kong Tropical Freeze over to the Nintendo Switch. So, with that being said, obviously it's going to be Donkey Kong Tropical Freeze. If you owned the game already, you've obviously played it. So, they've added stuff to the game. They've added an extra character, I believe a gameplay mode. They did some upscaling to the game as well to make it a better experience for the Nintendo Switch. With that being said, people are upset because the game is now $60. When it came out in the Wii U, it was a $50 game. People are upset that not only now it's $60, but the fact that it's a port in general. And I think that's selfish. As a prior owner to the Wii U, I consider the people that are upset about that to be selfish, for starters. A lot of, like you said, a lot of people did not own a Nintendo Wii U. A whole lot of people did not own a Wii U at all. So there is a huge demographic of people that never got a chance to play this game. And the Wii U had some heavy hitters, really good games that did not get touched because a lot of people didn't have one. So Nintendo is taking it upon themselves to re-release this awesome game for other people to play and an enhanced version of it. Just for the people that have already played it, they at least get a little taste of just some newer content, which is not very many people. So, go ahead.
And I'd even go ahead and say, too, like, I think a lot of their games that were very popular on the Wii U, they should definitely be bringing to the Switch. You're introducing a whole new demographic of people that didn't have that, like you said, had the Wii U. So it's like, if you can port it to the Switch and get more freaking sales and everything on your games and bring life to these games that maybe didn't have some back then, it's like, why not? I don't consider that part lazy. I think you're literally just reintroducing this game to somebody who maybe didn't have it before, didn't have a chance to do it, maybe couldn't afford a Wii U for whatever reason,
Yeah, and even then, and there's the complaint that, hey, this game is now $10 more than it was when it released. Let's the one thing that I could definitely get straight about Nintendo, they do not have to go in and add characters. They do not have to go in and revamp the game. They do not have to go in and add features. They could have easily re-released the game for $50, but that is a lazy port. Going in, changing the resolution, making the game run better, making the game feel better, adding characters and gameplay modes, that's an enhanced port. That takes time, that takes money. And it makes sense that the game is $10 more, because if the game came out at $50 and then they released the extra character and stuff, you're paying that extra $10 anyway.
Yeah, well, that completely makes sense. Like that right there. Like I said, in some cases it's a good thing. Some cases it does seem lazy. Like the Skyrim one, I didn't think that was a good port. But like you're saying, there's no problem with paying the extra money when you're actually getting additional features and more like a remaster, enhanced graphics and stuff like that onto a newer gen system, which is completely justifiable, and I can pay that kind of money for that.
Yeah, and honestly, Nintendo did us a favor already, because they added that, and that was a $10 value. With Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, do you really think people would, roll over and be okay if Nintendo gave us a $20 DLC after that? Because the amount of content they added to Mario Kart 8 Deluxe justifies an entirely different paid DLC. They added 4 extra levels with a gameplay mode, extra colors for some of the characters, extra kart pieces, and they added the Inkling to the game. They had an Inkling and a couple other things. They have added enough content to that game where they didn't have to slap a $60 price tag on it, but they did. So I'm perfectly fine with the fact that it's just an extra $10 for that game. And a lot of the ports that have been coming to the Switch, every port that Nintendo has made has always added to the game experience in some form. So I think it's unfair to criticize or call them selfish on that regard. That's just something I heard last night, and that was on my mind. It's like, these are people that don't know what they're talking about. They have, a lot of people have their own little YouTube channels like us. I mean, I don't necessarily matter. At the same time, though, I do know what I'm talking about, and I have worked in the industry. I've worked at video game stores, and I currently do stuff with Nintendo. So with that being said, I've seen how this has worked since I was a kid. I've watched all of it. I've worked with it. And seeing the difference between a regular port, an enhanced port, and a re-release, or a remake, it's all completely different.
Mhm.
So, just how Nintendo is handling it, it's perfectly fine, and I think it's fair.
Yeah.
It's
And
perfectly fine.
like you were saying earlier too, which has nothing to do with the Switch, but how people were kind of upset about the whole Crash thing. Like that game has been dead for quite a while. So I mean, them bringing that back, and for the price that came out with, which I thought was an absolute steal, for what it is. And
Yeah.
when you're bringing back games that have been down for years, I mean, that's something you should be appreciative of, and not necessarily say, well, that's selfish, that's lazy. I mean, whatever. You're getting to play a game that I haven't played in years. So
Yeah, and they redid it from the ground up.
Well,
Which
and I will
makes
tell
it
you,
totally...
as far as like a port, because I'm going to consider this a port because it wasn't even like actually remastered, are the first two Turok games that found their way onto the Xbox One.
Yeah.
It's the same graphics and everything. Those were really like, they were iconic games at the time, but they were not like great games. But then they poured them over to the Xbox One. It's like, well, why? Like, we already played them back then. Like, you didn't do anything new to them. Unless you're trying to see if it's going to gain some popularity, like that's when I kind of wish that it would have been more of like a remaster. Like if they had gone back and said, okay, we're remastering, we're going to completely give 110% updated graphics to those two games, maybe update the controls and everything, but it's going to be the same storyline, same levels, everything, that'd have been fine. But it wasn't. I mean, there's still the shitty graphics. They're, sharp polygonal characters and everything, and it's just it didn't work.
yeah,
That's the only time I don't like ports.
And the pricing isn't a big deal to me anyway. I mean, like, completely off topic once again. Like, the only thing I think I've ever really had a problem with price type stuff, and the only game that I've actually seen do this, which I thought was absolutely horrible, when Ark was early access,
Oh,
and they sold so many copies. I mean, we were talking, they made a lot of money off that. And then when they go to full release, they go gold, and they exact same game. You're getting nothing new, really. Pretty much the exact same game, and they turn around and double the price of the game. You're just like, okay, where did that come from? That I can see where people have issues with, whereas when you're getting new content, I wouldn't say you should have an issue because you're going to pay for the DLC either way. This is just, might even saved you a little bit of money down the road.
Yeah. Yeah, and, ports like that are definitely a problem. Because, well, shit, I mean, stuff like that in general. Because, during their early access phase, they released DLC for it. You know that? Like, an unfinished game had fucking DLC. Like, paid DLC. Like, what is...
Yeah.
I don't know. Early access is a whole other freaking discussion. Early access is a whole other thing. Because early access is... I agree with it, and I don't at the same time. Just because, companies like Ark are the prime example of what not to do with early access. Because there have been a few that were actually pretty damn good with early access that, was in it for just a little bit. Game came out of it, and it came out strong. Like Gang Beasts, in my opinion, is one that I would totally agree with.
Yeah, I was gonna say let's hold off on doing that for like another topic because we can really dive deep into all the early access games.
Yeah.
But no, just to end the ports topic, when it comes to ports in general, I'm okay with them in a way because, well, as far as like if it's not Nintendo, let's say, I'm okay with it because if there's a game, for example, like Dragon's Dogma, I was very okay with them re-releasing Dragon's Dogma for Xbox One and PS4. They didn't make really many changes at all, really almost none. But I don't have to go back to my 360 version anymore.
Yeah, that's true. Convenience sake.
Now, Sony is the ones that kind of ruined that one because Capcom did state that they wanted to just make it backwards compatible for the Xbox One and call it a day, but the PS4 doesn't have backwards compatibility, and that's a loss in sales avenue, so they had to just port it, essentially.
Yeah.
So, I mean, on that front, it's kind of Sony's fault, but, we can't really too much about that since they don't want to, you know,
And
times.
or be friendly.
in any form at all. But as far as Nintendo is concerned, I'm gonna end with this one. Nintendo porting one of their own games from the Switch. Fucking get over it. If you already owned the game, don't buy it. Stop bitching. It does you no good. And plus, most of the people doing it, you don't even have money to buy the game anyway. Your parents buy it for you. So why complain? And two, other companies porting games like, unfortunately, Skyrim and other games to Nintendo Switch, fucking deal with it. Because you can't have this new system without... Let's look at it this way. When the PS4 came out, when the Xbox One came out, what was the number one things coming out for the entire first year? Ports of 360 and PS3 games.
Yep.
It happens in the first year. Deal with it. And if you haven't noticed, you don't pay attention to the world of gaming. You only pay attention to what you play.
I mean, I'll end with, you know, also, you got to look at it this way, too. If you really do love that game and you liked it on the Wii U, well, if it's getting ported over, then look at it as like you're getting more longevity for, you know, the developer supporting that game for future updates and stuff like that. So it's not like you're just going to quit working on it and move on to the next project. You have a little bit more time to get more out of that game. So it does have its benefits as well.
Yeah. I'm going to end on this. Okay?
All right, Roger.
So, not only, even if you liked the game on the Wii U, think of it this way as you getting it on the Switch, if you really liked it that much, now you've got the portability of it. Now you can take that game over to your friend's house or something and play, you know, on local wireless or whatever, you know.
Yeah. You could bro it up with your Game Boy Color and your freaking LAN play. No, just kidding. But yeah, it's true.
Dude, that's when link cables, okay, let me tell you.
But yeah, and that's true. No matter what, a game ported to the Switch is enhanced in some form anyway, because you can take it out of your house. You couldn't do that before. Yeah. Oh, and first shame to the people that bitched about Pokken Tournament coming to the Switch. They were like, oh, it's a port. Oh, it's $10 less. The game probably sucks. Why is there DLC that's $20? It's like, because they could have added the $20 DLC to it, and you would have paid $60 anyway. So go fuck yourself.
Yeah.
So, boom. So yeah, our next topic is you had one job.
One job. I wish I had a soundboard for that right now.
No, but it is true. There are so many companies that just had one job. A quick, easy one. 343 with Halo 5. You had one fucking job, and you ruined it. You botched it. We talked about it last time, so I'm not going to talk about it now. But you should have added that local multiplayer, and you should never lied with your storyline.
You fucked up.
You fucked up.
Well, speaking of Halo-related type stuff, kind of, maybe. Game kind of like Halo. No, not really.
Drop it.
Should we play a national anthem?
Anthem's lead writer leaving the studio here.
Again,
so
I might add.
Again.
Because he has actually left during the Mass Effect as well.
Yeah. So is that more to say with the company, or is that more to say with the individual?
I'm going to say it's the individual, because he was the story writer for Mass Effect 2 and left that project, came back to help with Andromeda, and left that project. And I don't know why they trusted him with Anthem, because he left that shit too. I wonder if he is still living with his family and kids. Because it seems like he's great at leaving things.
Yeah. Well, I mean... Jesus. Oh my god. That's pretty funny. But I mean, yeah. But then again, he is leaving the same company too. So I mean, with him, it obviously it's the same guy leaving different projects, but within BioWare. So I mean, I don't know. It could be something that's on BioWare's end, or it could be him. I guess you really would have to dig into it, and something we probably will never actually get down to the bottom of. But either way about it, people leaving the studio definitely isn't a good thing for the development of a video game, especially one that was as big as hyped as Anthem was.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and they claim that him leaving the studio wasn't really obviously a big issue, and the game's going to continue and blah blah blah, and it's going well. But that's just PR talk.
Yeah, I mean, if you're leaving that early on, I mean, like I was telling you guys earlier, I mean, in time frames of video game development, I mean, when a lead story writer exits the building, that's not like some small little I mean, story has a lot to do with the video game. So I mean, they're obviously still very early on in the stages of developing this game, and having that big of a loss early on definitely is no just smooth bump in the road. You're going to have a complete transition, a new guy coming and taking over the reins, and he could have something completely different in mind. And if that's the case, then you're talking about having to rewrite entire scripts for certain parts of the game. You're having to completely reformat things to fit his agenda. So, I mean, who knows how that's going to affect it?
Yeah.
Yeah, and that is honestly that's stuff that happens in general anyway. Once someone new comes in, that significantly important shit changes with the game, because that brings me over to the next. You have one job. Square Enix, with their Final Fantasy VII, sounds like from what they're saying, they're actually restarting on the project from scratch.
Yeah, you had mentioned this yesterday, I believe.
Yeah. They're starting over. They've changed engines twice, and now they're just starting over. Any thoughts on that?
I mean, we can wait 10 years, no big deal.
Yeah,
Good for Final Fantasy 15.
I only waited for 15 since I was in what grade was that? I was in 8th grade. That's when they started talking about it. And then we got it last year, 2 years ago. I can't remember now. But that was a while. That was damn near. I mean, they could have been the full 15 years. They probably named it after how long it took. Maybe they might do Final Fantasy 7 point, I don't know, 5 years. They're taking their sweet ass time.
But here's the thing, is everybody super excited and everything about it? Yeah, but and is everybody probably really bummed out about the fact that it's taking a while? Yeah, but I mean, you have to figure in the fact too, they're having to pretty much do the entire game over because of, you look at the graphics for 7 way back on the PlayStation 1 or whatever, and you look at where the graphics are now. I mean, they're having to physically recreate these characters from the ground up.
But they already had something, is the thing. It looked like it was it made Final Fantasy 15 look like the shittiest game on earth with how nice the graphics for this game was. And they had gameplay, not a tech demo.
Well, I mean, it may be a case too of the fact, like I said, when they and I forget who came out and said this, but they said that and I think it actually was Square Enix that said they had come out with a quicker way of doing their games in HD or whatever. So maybe that had something to do with it. Maybe now that they've figured out how to make them faster, maybe, I don't know, maybe they're going back on their episodic thing. I have no idea. But, I mean, it's one of those things where, dude, we have so many freaking games that come out, and I am a huge Final Fantasy fan. I love Final Fantasy. Man, if they want to take, 4, 5, 6 years to put this game out, let them do it. I've got plenty of games that I can play in that period of time. If I got to wait that long for it, whatever.
Well, I mean, when did initial production of the game actually start?
I think they announced it 2 E3 ago. So and that was just I think they threw the logo and everything up on the screen. Last year, I think they did with some gameplay stuff, But if they're starting over or whatever, so even say it's been in production for 2 years,
Yeah, I mean, if they found a more streamlined way to actually go about the game, it may not take as long as we think. And just because they're starting from, I mean, they may say that, but I doubt they completely scrap the entire project.
No,
they'll probably take foundations and stuff and kind of work from there. Hopefully, otherwise you will be waiting 4 or 5 years. But
yeah.
I don't know. You might see it 2 to 3 realistically.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, even if there's another 3 years, I mean, you figure. Just look at all the games that we've already heard about that are coming out even just this year. My head hurts. My face hurts thinking about it, So it's the fact that this isn't coming out, I'm not one bit sad. And I'm sorry for the guys that are like, I only buy Final Fantasy games, blah, 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 blah.
They don't do much gaming.
Yeah, it's like, then I apologize. You should probably broaden your gaming horizons and play a game like Horizon. But, you know, like, I'm just saying, like, the fact that this game's not coming out, or, you know, anytime real soon, or that they might have had to start over, it's not that big of a deal. There are plenty of other games to go out there and play when it comes out and when the developer's ready, because video games are very hard. It's not easy shit to make. That's why they take 3, 4, 10 years to make, because they're that hard. Take your time. Same thing.
Years, holy shit.
Huh? Dude, if I'm 80 when that game comes out, whatever. I'll be playing it on my PlayStation 900.
I would love to see that, but
I may have to get like a specialized like handicap controller because my thumbs probably won't work by then, but
nope, my thumbs didn't work. I wouldn't be alive. Well, another game that they only had one job for. What was that game?
We have Splinter Cell.
Yeah.
Yep. So, I mean, whoever over at Ubisoft or Amazon who's in charge of listing the games on the website, you did it a bit early, bud. A little too early. Maybe you did it on purpose as a big middle finger to the company, but
I will tell you, yeah, it was definitely somebody over at Amazon that posted that.
Yeah,
too freaking early.
I mean, we have the item model number is, and I kid you not, E3 Tom Clancy Splinter Cell 2018_PC. That is the item model number, and it's listed directly under the listing for Ubisoft. So it's an official Ubisoft listing with an item model. So, I mean, odds are sometimes these Amazon leaks tend to be false. Sometimes they tend to be true, but there is a good chance, I would say, you're going to see some form of an announcement for Splinter Cell at E3 this year.
Yeah. Amazon's been fucking up a lot lately with stuff like that, to be really honest.
Yeah, I mean, didn't they do Red Dead, even though it got delayed? But
yeah, but it was still a case that Amazon's been famous for doing that, though, where they'll, and I think a couple other retailers are too, where they'll throw something up on their website, and it's like way too soon. Like, we haven't even heard any official announcement about the game, and then somebody that just happens to go searching on, Amazon for video games, all of a sudden they're like, Splinter Cell 2! Oh my god! It's like...
They say it like Mickey?
Yeah.
Oh my god!
Yeah, I mean, hats off to the people on Reddit who literally crawl the internet for this type of stuff. I absolutely love it because I don't have the time. But I mean, heck, if you can spot this stuff, because it was as soon as I started reporting on it the other day, when I caught wind of it, within probably like an hour of all the outlets getting a story out there, and right after mine had went live, they had taken it down. So like the guy was obviously like, or guy or girl, whoever did it was like probably like, oh shit, like I'm in trouble. And if you're not working at Amazon anymore, I'm sorry, but
that's your fault.
You had one job.
Well, I'm sure Ubisoft's freaking PR group, like I'm sure they saw that, they're like, the fuck, like. Whoa, hold on. Let's call our dudes over at Amazon real quick and figure out what the hell happened. Because people over at Amazon, like, they get that kind of stuff even before we necessarily find out about it. Because as soon as they start showing, like, when they show the release and everything for it, they have to be able to take that information and throw it out on their website so that people can start getting pre-orders for it.
Mm-hmm.
So that dude just hit the little red button that said, don't press me until this date. And he just was like, bam.
Yeah, he was spamming it.
He Kim Jong-un that bitch. He
kicked that shit straight to its teeth and just was like, oh, okay, too soon.
Good God. Well, another game that I can actually mention confidently, because we actually talked about this before, Sony showing off games at E3 way before they're even going to come out.
Prematurely, yep.
Yep, and guess what joined that bandwagon? Days Gone, that zombie game.
Yep, I covered that earlier this week.
Yeah, Days Gone is now delayed until
2019. No official date yet.
I'd say Q1.
Indefinitely. The quote, I can pull this up real quick.
Hey, Connor.
My article, but What's up, Connor? Hey, hey. Yeah, indefinitely delayed till 2019. As far as the quote coming from Sony, we can confirm that Days Gone will be releasing in 2019, and we will keep you updated on the launch date. So they don't even know.
And they showed us that game 2 years ago, I believe, right?
I will tell you right now, even though it's not official, I will guarantee that that game comes out in Q1. My reasoning why they probably delayed that is because there's a shit ton of stuff that's coming out already this fall, and that's when it was like scheduled to release. You've got big hitters like the new Call of Duty, we got a new Battlefield, you got Red Dead, and I don't really want to say it'll be this year that it'll release, but you're definitely going to be hearing about a Halo game, and it usually releases in the fall. That was their smartest decision, was to pop that into next year sometime.
If it goes Q1, huh? Okay, 1 second.
Yeah, basically what he's saying though, if it goes Q1, then it'll probably be late, or at least before the fiscal year is up.
Well, if it goes Q1, you're not sending that game out to die. You've given those other games couple of months to get their footing, get played, people go out and buy it, whatever, spend their Christmas money on it. If you put it out even in say like February, which as we all know is starting to look like a freaking November all over again. Like a lot of the heavy hitting games have stopped releasing out in November and October and everything. They've started waiting till early, in the start of the year before getting released. So if they do that with that game, it's probably got a better chance of getting some legs and going somewhere. But here's the other thing too, is what game that PlayStation also has in their lineup that's very, very, very similar to Days Gone, but already has a following.
Last of Us.
Yeah. You've got The Last of Us 2. They've already shown, 2 major clips from it. Again, it's probably not for like another 2 years, but it's like you got to make sure that even if just for the sake of conversation, say Naughty Dog is like on a roll with this game, they're ready to drop this sometime next year. Probably won't happen, but again, sake of conversation, you got to get Days Gone somewhere away from that, because the minute The Last of Us 2 drops, that's going to take over. And that's a very, very similar game to Days Gone.
Well, here's my main disagreement why I don't think it's necessarily a scheduling issue because of other games. Is one, because we don't hear anything about it unless it's at E3. So we got the announcement 2 years ago at E3. Then we didn't hear anything about it, and we got a very short demo this last E3, and I haven't heard anything about it up until we got the delay. Usually you hear more about it if it was planned on getting released this year. And I still think we're well off from Q1. If it's going to come out as far as development-wise, I don't even think the game's going to be ready till Q3 or Q4. Q1's just too early. I don't think it'll hit spring at all. Because, aren't we getting... well, actually, we don't have a whole lot lined up for Q1. But I don't know. I think it's more of an actual development thing than I think it is actual scheduling thing. That's just my personal opinion, though.
Yeah.
Here's my only thing that I'm gonna politely disagree with you on that, is just because they'd already scheduled it to release this winter. They were like, all right, December. And I think especially after the delay for Red Dead Redemption from summertime to now, it's September or something they're releasing it.
Well, who's developing the game?
I think
because you hear recently Sony had a little shakeup with a few of their developers getting higher positions and stuff. Because if someone was working
Sony Santa Monica,
it's no, it's SIE. It's SIE Ben Studio.
Oh, Ben Studios.
Because if it was someone that was working on that game that got promoted, then obviously they would have to find someone to take his place. I don't know if that's the case, but.
Well, I look a lot into wording too. If you look at when Red Dead Redemption got delayed, everyone was expecting Red Dead and they were super hyped for it and all these announcements. And then they came out and they gave a detailed reason, like, hey, we want to make sure this game is going to be absolutely perfect when it comes out, and that way we can live up to all the expectation and the hype when this game comes out. When Sony comes out and says this game has been delayed till 2019 and we'll keep you updated on the launch date, that just says to me they don't really know what's going on right now, or they don't have anything to tell us. I feel like if it was for a reason to push it back because of that, we would have gotten more than just 2 sentences.
Yeah.
You know, like we didn't get much out of it at all. We just got, hey, it's delayed, and I really don't have to give you a reason why, which I don't think that has anything to do with a scheduling issue. But that's, once again, that's just an opinion.
It has been said.
It has been said.
It is done.
It's done, young boy. No, yeah, I agree with that. And, yeah, I don't know what they're going to do with that game. But personally, I wasn't caring too much about it anyway, so we'll just see what happens whenever they decide to drop it.
Drop it like it's hot.
Yeah. So, was there anything else? Was there anything else as far as just people screwing up something? Because I can't think of one now.
Recently, that's about it this week.
I'll say I can't really think of anything else.
I had something, but I forgot already. Like, it wasn't like a huge deal, but it was like...
Let's move on to the Switch.
Oh, well. So, let's
Smash.
Yeah, let's move on to Super Smash Bros. So
this was a huge release.
Yeah, we'll let you start that one off.
All right, so Nintendo had their awesome Direct, and was that Friday? Sunday? Saturday? I don't know. It was sometime a couple days ago. Dude, I've been sick. My brain is not functioning properly at all. So they had their Direct recently, and they showed off a couple games, you know, on the start for the 3DS, and then they went on and started showing some cool things like Kirby's Star Allies or whatever for the Switch. And then they looked like they were about to end their Direct, and all of a sudden, boom, fucking they show this baller-ass video for the new Super Smash Bros. And I'm calling it new because I don't think it's a port. But that's just my own personal opinion. Bring this bad bitch circle around. So, I want to tell you, that's probably one of the dopest reveal trailers I've seen for a video game. Like, it was really cool, the whole animation thing with all of the squidlings going around, or the inklings, I'm sorry. Somebody out there's like, what the fuck? Squidlings. Like, he said squidlings, shoot him. But yeah, like they did that, and then like, I mean, I'm not gonna lie, it almost looked kind of dark, you know, just like the way like everything was black, you know, and then you just
the shit out of them.
Yeah, like it, like I got kind of hyped on it right then and there because it was like, holy crap! Like you got the Super Smash logo that's like on fire. You've got these like burning silhouetted images of Mario and, you know, some of the other characters in the background. Then you had like, then they showed the new Link. That's what make. All right, here I'm gonna soapbox again. So, I had a conversation with a couple people on my Facebook about this, about the Super Smash Bros. Coming to the Switch, and whether or not that was a port or not. I don't think that it's a port. I think that it has been way too long since the last Super Smash Bros.
What, like 3 years?
That's enough to make a Super Smash Bros. Though, and the fact that I can't even think of the dude.
One game type per console, right?
Did they though?
That's how they typically do it. There's only one Smash game per console, one Mario Kart per console.
Yeah, this will definitely be the only thing we see this generation as far as Smash is concerned.
Yeah, they only release one version of each game per console if it's not a story-driven game like Zelda.
Mm-hmm. So, and they'll continually update it throughout its lifespan. Usually.
Well, and here's the thing too: is I think is the guy's last name like Miyazaki or something that
We talking Sakurai?
Sakurai, yeah. I'm sorry, Japanese people. I love y'all to death, but y'all got some crazy ass last names that they are all very similar. So the fact that guy also has come out and said, "Oh, this is gonna be."
Christian,
what?
Now you know it's a live stream.
I just said hi in the chat.
Continue.
So, no. So the fact that this guy has already come out a couple times before and said, "Oh, this is the last time I'm making a Super Smash Bros. Game," blah blah. Like, if this is his like last time, like why would he make a port?
Because a port's different than remaking a game. That's why I say it's...
If it was a port, they would have just had somebody else do it. They're just like, okay, here, like, well, we're making this new Super Smash Bros. We're gonna let this other smaller development studio just port it to the, you know, the Switch console. So because
I think it's more than just a port. It's somewhere in between.
Yeah, I would.
They're gonna port the original game, add stuff to the original game, add stuff. Not even an enhanced port. It's somewhere between a new and old. Probably take it, add stuff to it. Add some characters, maybe add some stages, add some of the 3DS content, but it's going to be somewhere in between a port and a newer version. I'm sure they're going to change the menu completely. I don't think it's a brand new game, but I do not think it is 100% port.
Yeah, I wouldn't say it's a port either. I mean, one, the logo is completely different than what the prior was.
Yeah, the logo goes back to the original Smash for the 64.
Yeah, and I would see it more of along the lines of redressing in a sense of the prior Smash and bringing it over. Not so much like a port, but definitely fixing like the messy UI that the last one had. Bringing, like you said, bringing in the new stages, characters, stuff like that. But as far as like fundamental, like you're not going to see any groundbreaking changing in like the combat. I wouldn't say. But you're definitely going to have, like you said, probably somewhere in between that port and that new game. It's going to feel new, but it's definitely not going to be a completely new game.
Yeah, I don't think it's... Yeah. I could agree with that.
I don't know. I'm kind of on the fence for it. Like, I obviously don't think it's a port, because if it was a port, they would have said, like, hey, we're bringing... They would have announced the full-blown name. They would have been like, hey, it's Melee, we're bringing it to the Switch, or it's Brawl, we're bringing it to the Switch. Mm-hmm. They just left it as Super Smash Bros. That was it.
More so like it's, hey, we want to let you guys know at E3, can you guys stop being little bitches and saying, is this going to be a Smash Direct? Every single Direct that comes out since December.
Well, and I wish, too, like, maybe they should have, like, just said that. Like, I don't know why keep it secret, or I mean, I guess it's obviously generating buzz as to whether or not it's a port or a new game. But yeah, like, I don't know. I definitely think that it's leaning closer to a new game, just because they showed off the new Link, from Breath of the Wild. They didn't announce, any Brawl or Melee or whatever.
But see, at the same time,
is your camera out, by the way?
I made it out because I was doing a thing.
Okay. Continue.
But to be honest, if you really think about it, let's be fair here. There's a new Link. Why do you think there's a new Link? First, we'll touch base on that. Why do you think there is a brand new Link?
Because they showed him.
Well, no, I mean, you have a new Link to the series. I mean, you want to get him acclimated to this generation.
And that is the reason. Every single Smash Brothers game, the Link that is on the game is based off of the last or current game that is on that console. Nintendo 64 had Ocarina of Time Link. The Wii had Twilight Princess Link. The GameCube had Ocarina of Time Link, because they didn't really have a game out at the time, because the GameCube only had Wind Waker. So with that being said, they took the stance of putting Wind Waker Link into the Wii version of the game. Now, when it comes to the Nintendo Wii U, the only Link they had was a Link from their promotional art for The Legend of Zelda. Not the fact that there was a Zelda game for the Wii U, it was the fact that they changed the promotional art for Zelda. Because the game that was going to be coming out was that tech demo that they decided to scrap and turn into Breath of the Wild whatever amount of years later. So they have to replace that Link with... Because here's the thing people aren't realizing. There's a thing with licenses. And with this Smash Brothers game, no matter how you look at it, the reason why I see it as a enhanced, I guess, redesigned port is because they have licenses that they will not be able to renew. When this game comes up, they have to take that Link out and put the newer Link in. They've got to support characters that came out with the Nintendo Switch, but we have characters like Ryu and characters like Cloud who are issues. They have to get that licensing back, and if those companies do not allow that licensing, then those characters are going to need to be replaced, hence the newer Nintendo characters that are being added to the game, like Ink Link.
And that's not to say that you couldn't get those licensing later on down the line, and those characters could be added to the game. That's something that's very doable.
Yeah.
I don't, like you said, I don't think we'll see Ryu at launch with this.
I don't even know why we saw him to begin with. So
that's a good point.
So I don't even know why we saw Cloud. So with that being said, they've got to get that licensing back. They've got to revamp some things. They've got to make Mario, in my opinion, not based off of the Flood and Mario's Sunshine. It's got to be based off of. They basically got to, because Smash Brothers, in a way, is basically one big advertisement for their other franchises, and they've got to update those characters to be consistent with what they've been doing lately.
So yeah, I think you'll see like an ARMS character, maybe, possibly. So yeah, you like you said, you're going to see everything that is currently in the realm of what they're releasing right now. So I mean, I know people are going to be upset because they want to see their all-star lineup from the games that they had previously, but if you look at prior games, it's just not how they do it. Like it's like really is just one big advertisement for their current, IPs. So I mean, why wouldn't you do that? So I mean, I don't think there's much more to it than that. So, I mean, I would like to see the original Ocarina of Time Link in this one, along with like different versions of Link you could play as, but that's just asking for a lot. You're probably not going to see that.
That's something I could agree with, but even then, we have costume swaps, and they've shown this off with the game because just with Bowser Jr., you click on him, you can get Iggy and all the other Bowser babies. So they could have, it could easily be just a costume swap for Link. You literally, have no idea.
I didn't think about that.
So I mean, do you think? Well, I mean, as far as compared to classic Link, well, I consider classic Ocarina, like old Smash Brothers. As far as combat wise, I mean, what would differentiate it from Breath of the Wild? I mean, is there a big enough difference to where you can constitute just a costume swap, or do you need to completely change up the moveset for that character? That's something
in my opinion, but
yeah, I would say I would say so too. But then can you have that same moveset for even if it was a costume, the original looking one? I think it would be best just to go with what's current and have a new moveset for that character and just kind of go from there.
Yeah, and it's funny because Nintendo, this is one thing that I will gripe with. They have the audacity to give us 3 or 4 Fire Emblem characters that play exactly the same. Please just give me 2 different Links. That's not hard to do if you can be an asshole and release 2 Marios, 3 or 4 Marios.
Like a Toon Link?
Yeah. I mean, they made Toon Link different than regular Link in some small, tiny, barely visible regards. So they should just have 2 Links, in my opinion. But
how many characters do you think we're getting? 16.
Oh, dude. 16. I'll probably throw my cartridge out the window. No, we'll have around 45 to 50. Like we.
Well, how many were in Brawl?
Less than Smash Wii U.
How many were in Smash Wii U?
Maybe 53, 56, something crazy like that.
Mm-hmm. I mean, they're like here recently. They've had a lot of options.
How crazy would it be if they brought out like 60?
It'd be great.
I mean, I'm just saying, like that would be nuts. Like, what if this was? Okay, think about it this way. What if this was like the last Super Smash Bros. That they were ever going to make because this dude is just done?
The answer to that's easy. Then you're coming up on the 20th anniversary. You include every single character that's ever been involved in Super Smash. That's how I would do it. If this really was the last one, that's how I would do it.
And I agree. 110%. Nintendo has actually been training a younger staff to take over the company in general. So, and Bandai Namco jumped on board for Smash Wii U. So, regardless, if he stops making Smash, it's not really going to change very much.
No,
because it was a completely different team under the Pokemon Company, or under Game Freak, that made Pokemon Sun and Moon. It wasn't the original Pokemon team. Our regular Pokemon team that we are aware of are making the Nintendo Switch Pokemon. The people that were working on Sun and Moon were actually a new team that they were training. And they made some great changes to it. So, if this is his last Smash, I'm not worried about it. They'll make another one with a new team. How's it going, Tipsy Cake?
I didn't like our Moon, but that's me.
Well, I mean,
here's the one thing that I didn't like about it. Okay, and I have Sun. I went out and bought Sun.
I don't like it very much. I liked my gym leaders and stuff.
I missed
storyline.
Well, no, I didn't. I mean, I didn't mind the fact that they didn't have gym leaders. I liked that twist. My thing was, okay, so you get into a Pokemon battle, and that Pokemon screams for help like a little bitch, and then it's two Pokemon of the same level roughly that are fighting you, and it's 2-on-1.
I'm okay with
that.
it.
That is not fair.
Have you ever come up against a pack of wild animals? It's not fun. It's not supposed to be fun.
Nor is it fair.
Okay, but you know what? I don't put myself in that situation.
Life isn't fair,
to
David.
Be fair, dude. It is 2-on-1 when you come up against a Pokemon and go, I'm going to kick its ass and catch it. So Pokemon's looking at this human like, square up, thought. And then you throw out another Pokemon, and then it's like, shit, it's 2-on-1.
Here's the thing.
You got like 4 others of those mugs to throw at him. So it's like, he's never done, man. He's got to deal with 6. So,
okay, but here's my thing, though, okay?
Imagine
being going to throw out, especially because, like, some of the gym battle, like, or the trials, or whatever you want to fucking call them, you go and you fight fucking 2 of these Pokemon, and you got 1. At least give me the option to throw out another one to make it somewhat fair. So I've got 2-on-2.
I mean, it's not going to be fair as long as you got a whole damn group of 6 to kick one's ass.
Yeah, but at the same time, I'm going to get gangbanged by freaking 2 other Pokemon. I'm just saying.
How did we get on this? How did we go from Smash to Pokemon? Okay, whatever.
Because he brought up Pokemon in
this. About getting his ass whooped by Pokemon.
Get good, David. That's all I have to say.
I am good. I've beaten every single Pokemon game before that, and I loved them. The minute they started throwing this 2v1 bullshit in there, that's when I was like, all right, I'm probably not going to play this game very much.
Well, I didn't like Pokemon Sun and Moon only because there was too much story.
Too much story? Dude, that's... I like the story.
When I play a Pokemon game, the last thing I want is to, every time I walk into a house or every time I go to the next city, I have someone stopping me in my tracks to say something to me forever about shit I don't care about.
Yeah, Christian gets it, man. Just use a spread move like Surf or Earthquake.
Yep.
Problem solved, David.
Problem
solved. No longer have to worry about it. Killed 2 Pokemon with 1 stone.
So... And Tipsy King, this is our podcast that you will typically see on Tuesdays around 7 o'clock, 7 p.m. Central Time. This is something you'll see every single Tuesday, so you should definitely join us when we do it. We call it the PulsChat. Very interactive. If you want to speak with us while we are doing this, you're more than welcome to say something, and we can kind of relate that message, and we have our Q&A as well. But either way, back on the topic of Smash, the only I know Sega is not the type, but if Sonic's not included in this new Smash, I'm not buying it.
I know.
I'm kind of lying to myself right now, but characters that are not owned by Nintendo that were in Smash before, I really hope make it into the new one. Or the re-release or whatever. Like Mega Man, Sonic, Mega Man, Sonic, and Pac-Man.
Yeah, I mean, it really just depends on how much they're willing to dish out for it.
Well, Sonic has been there for so long, he'd better stay.
Yeah, you might as well just keep that.
Especially Sonic.
I would say so. I would more than likely, yes, just because they know how upset people would get over it. And I couldn't imagine Capcom not giving them
Mega Man
the license. I couldn't imagine them not giving them the license. I mean,
yeah, Tipsy King, you don't have to worry about Bayonetta because Nintendo's wearing her like a glove right now.
Oh yeah, that's definitely coming.
That's their character at this point. Bayonetta will be there. I just want to make sure my Sonic gets in. I need my Sonic. If I don't have my Sonic, I'll be depressed. Like, I'll be depressed. I don't even know what to say about it. He's got to be there.
I would say so. I mean, if not, then that's a huge injustice. But I mean, it comes down to whether one, the owner of the IP wants to give the license, and 2, whether the person trying to get the license wants to pay the amount, because they technically can set the amount, and it's just whether or not they want to pay it or not. If it's me personally, and I know that Super Smash is coming out, I'm gonna, kind of hold you by the hair there and be like, pay the money if you want it. They'll pay it. They're gonna pay it too.
Yeah, because that's the only spot. No offense to Sega, and no offense to my childhood and everything about me, because I'm gonna hurt myself. That's the only spot where Sonic really matters anymore. So they've got to put him on there.
I bet they're gonna bring one DBZ character and one off-brand character like Crash Bandicoot. Okay, I don't see it. I don't see it.
But not
I don't see Dragon Ball. Yeah, Dragon Ball will not ever be.
I'm sorry to say, because Dragon Ball fans don't like hearing this, and I've been a Dragon Ball fan for the last 19 years. They will not put Dragon Ball on there. Dragon Ball in Japan is officially dead. Toei Animation has ruined Dragon Ball as an anime as a whole. Therefore, they will not be able to get a cameo of a Dragon Ball character in a single game. For Nintendo.
And not only that, I just don't think it's a good fit for that type of a fighting game. And one with them having their own series of, you just had a recent release of a similar fighting game with, Fighter Z coming out. There's no reason they're gonna kind of oversell that and put that into Super Smash. Now, Crash, on the other hand, it being a Sony, I don't know. Yeah,
well, Crash isn't owned by Sony anymore. It's a straight up Activision.
Oh, true. That is true.
Yeah, and
Crash... So you could see Crash. Yeah, you could, but would surprise me, but I wouldn't be against it.
Okay, we're not going to get on the topic of Dragon Ball, but them making a Dragon Ball movie has absolutely nothing to do with Dragon Ball's popularity, because I can name plenty of anime that aren't doing well at all that have their own movie coming out or had one. But either Dragon Ball's not what it was at all, and that's why it's not popular in Japan anymore. That's why they lost their timestamp, and that's why people are like, "Oh my god, it's getting canceled." No, they lost their timestamp because the TV station and network that it was under decided it wasn't important enough to keep that timestamp, so someone with a higher bid gave it away. Dragon Ball is no longer God in Japan. I'm sorry, and I don't know how you would know anyway. Because moving on. Now, if my personal thing with the Inklings, I know this isn't a thing, but if they have different costume, like, selections where obviously it would switch from boy and girl and different skin colors, that would be really cool if you could still, like, change their gear. I know that's probably asking a lot, but you know how on Smash Brothers before they had, like, the stupid attacks you could add to characters? Wouldn't it be cool if you could buy costumes or earn costumes to change the way the characters look?
Yeah, that would be. That, like you said, that is asking a lot out of it. But that would definitely, that would be cool. Definitely. Especially with all the customization you actually have with Splatoon, like changing out the outfits. I think that would be cool. But whether they actually implement that or not is highly unlikely.
Yeah.
I would like it though.
Oh, I guess I'll just say it out loud. Anything you guys would like to, ask us about or talk about, like this Dragon Ball thing, we'll discuss that in a little bit in our Q&A section, because that actually would be the best spot to talk about it.
Should we just move to that now?
No, I have one more Smash thing to say.
Now,
a thing that I really wanted to do as far as, like, costumes and shit go, though, is games always have paid DLC for costumes and shit. All the time. I would be okay if Nintendo released costume packs and shit for their characters, because they reasonably price their DLC, in my opinion. I'd be okay if they had like a, I don't know, for $5 or something. Excuse me, for like $5 or something, you could get like DLC Mario costume pack, and it gives you different costumes.
Like five different ones or something like that.
Yeah, so it'd be like franchise packs instead. So like extra costumes for Mario series or extra
like you get like costumes for like Mario, like Luigi, like anything that's in the realm of that IP. That would be cool.
Yeah, and I really want to see that.
That I think that would be a good implementation of it. But I don't know. Is Nintendo very big on that type of short little microtransaction type stuff?
They're not.
So that's not really kind of what they are. So I wouldn't really believe it. I think they're more about kind of just giving you stuff kind of free. So I don't really see that. I mean, I would do it.
I'd
I'd
pay
pay
for
it.
it.
I have a serious problem with cosmetics. Like I just bought stuff on Fortnite because I'm stupid. Um, I like to look cool, man. If I have that unique costume, I'm gonna get it.
Oh my
But-
god. I mean, yeah, that's no lie. I would just like for them to do it. But is there anything you guys want to add to the Smash portion before we move to the Q&A?
Christian wants to know if we think that they're gonna add another Sonic character like Shadow.
Like, Christian, here, in a perfect world, I want that. In a perfect world, Nintendo would have at least 2 characters per franchise, but they don't. If they did, then they could easily have Sonic and Shadow, or Sonic and Tails, or Sonic and Knuckles. If they did for Bayonetta, they would have Bayonetta and that one guy that I can't remember the name of, who they've already hinted will be in Smash, because on Bayonetta 4, there's a little letter that the character wrote to Bayonetta, basically saying, hey, next time you go hang out with those fighting buddies you have, invite me. That sounds like he's going to be in Smash, in my opinion. But in a perfect world, they would have 2 characters per franchise. And that's what I really want them to do. I don't care what other Sonic character they add. I would like to have 2 Sonic characters. I'd like to have 2 Bayonetta characters, 2 Street Fighter characters, 2 Final Fantasy characters. Because instead, we have like fucking, 5 Fire Emblem characters, 6 or 7 Pokemon.
What is that even about? Like,
I don't know. So it's like, give me, before you add duplicates, before you add too many characters from one franchise, give me 2 characters per franchise, please. Like, obviously, you can't do that with, like, Pikmin, because Olimar and Louie are just the same character. They're just a skin of another character. But
yeah,
with ones that do have other characters, try to put 2 characters. I want that. Like, it's dope. 2 characters. You can hear me, Nintendo. Matter of fact, next time when I go to my next freaking meeting, I'm gonna just bring it up, even though no one there matters enough to make it happen. But they're just gonna be like, "Do you have any questions?" I'll just raise my hand. Do you think they should have 2 characters per franchise in Smash?
they're just gonna look and be like, "Yes, but no, we can't do that."
Yeah, I don't know. It's something that I want. I would love to have Shadow, but.
Well, that's why I told them. I said if they did anything like that, it's probably going to be like a cosmetic thing where you can change the the skin. Same thing as if they added, Knuckles or whatever. Like, he would probably have roughly the same attacks as Sonic, but it would just be for a different color. Because that way, all you have to worry about is it just being cosmetic, and you don't have to worry about different animations.
Well, not necessarily if it's Knuckles, because Knuckles fights with his fists, and Sonic fights with his feet. So that would look silly.
Well, I'm just saying. But, yeah.
Andy disappeared. Oh, my phone just went off. Navi saying, "Hey." Navi.
Oh, he did disappear.
Of a thingy really quick, a sickly thing. But
That's,
anyway.
that's disgusting.
It's not what you're thinking, sort of. Anyway.
He threw up.
No, I didn't do that. What am I believing? Anyway,
Whoa.
now, let's see.
Jesus Christ.
Anything else that's going to be said in the chat? Something was said about Dragon Ball. I do understand they're making a new Dragon Ball movie. Now, me saying that Dragon Ball is dead in Japan, it's not me saying Dragon Ball is dead in general. It's just the fact that Dragon Ball Super has the lowest ratings of any Dragon Ball iteration that has been made. And a lot of the Japanese market's not taking it seriously, especially since Akira Toriyama's kind of dogging it within his own manga, which is hilarious. For example, Book 2 of Dragon Ball Super that I literally just got last night literally states in the back that it will be covering more of Trunks' life further than the show did, because the show didn't do it justice. Akira Toriyama basically is giving and spitballing information to Toei, and Toei is creating their story arcs and stuff like that based off of what Akira Toriyama is saying, but they're still going their own path, and he's not really pleased about that. Jiren is not made the way Akira Toriyama necessarily wanted. He showed them the character model, he gave them the information about the character, and they took that and escalated it by 10. Same thing with the story arc for Trunks as an example. He wanted to show Trunks' relation to Tapion, stuff like that. So, now for me, I don't care that much for Dragon Ball Super. I've been a Dragon Ball fan for years, and I can see the difference.
I'm not a huge fan either,
Yeah,
and I've watched Dragon Ball and Z
and GT
countless times.
GT has been universally shadowed for years, but a lot of people are seeing GT better than Super at this point because it feels like Dragon Ball still.
Well, I mean, with Super, there's nothing really original to me, too. I mean, how many times you got to bring Frieza back before you're just like, dude, let it die, move on to something new?
How many times are you going to transform in one fight?
Yeah, and like, I don't know, like, and it could just be like a thing. Like, I mean, growing up, I was a lot younger, so I thought it was a lot more badass to where, like, now that I've actually way more in depth with anime than I was back then, I see the storytelling in Super just kind of sucks in my opinion.
It doesn't exist, and it's too fast paced compared to what Dragon Ball normally is. You don't get a chance to legitimately like or know a character. You don't get a chance to legitimately root for anyone like you did back then. Watching the best character development in anime history, Vegeta and Gohan becoming who they are, or were, I guess I should say, as far as Gohan's concerned.
Yeah.
But Super in its flow is completely different. The way the entire show flows is very, very different, and it feels weak. With that being said, Akira Toriyama did say that, but he's talking about for America. Dragon Ball Super is not really all that popular in Japan, if you didn't know. Just same thing with Boruto, which surprises me, because I like Boruto. Boruto and Dragon Ball Super are having not that great of a run in Japan. They're doing well everywhere else, though. But see, that's not amongst original Dragon Ball and Naruto fans. That's amongst children and some of the newer fans. The newer fans don't know much about Z, and that's why they're kind of harping around Super, and they're so obsessed with Super. And when Dragon Ball Fighter Z came out, they're like, this isn't what Dragon Ball's supposed to play. This game is garbage. It's like, no, this is what we've been asking for the last 15 years and finally got it.
Yeah.
There's a huge divide between the original fan base and the new fan base. And the original just doesn't want to listen.
Well, not only that. I mean, I think one thing that kept the series alive and even got that little bit is the popularity that it had here in the U.S. The movies did fantastic here in the U.S., whereas they just didn't do that well in Japan. I mean, I'm talking about before Super came out.
Yeah.
So I think that's what kind of vaulted them to give it another go, and now that they're kind of saying that there is no reception for, you know, a big part of like the fan base from the previous, that's why we're kind of moving on from that. So
yeah,
I don't know. I would like to remember Dragon Ball from Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z, because those two, I mean, it's nothing that they come up with now, that there's nothing they can go to that's going to kind of trump the progression, like you said, with like Gohan, with Vegeta. You just can't beat that. And when you go from Gohan being an absolute badass to becoming an absolute, pardon my language, pussy in you know, Super, you're just like, what happened? And I don't know. Just
because Gohan still, if we want to talk about the Buu saga, Gohan redeemed himself in that saga, in my opinion, and became an amazing character just for them to make him worse in Super, and I don't understand. But I don't know. It looks like fucking Grandma has something he wants to add.
I have some slightly breaking news, because like as we're talking, like I'm just kind of like saying some stuff on Twitter. I'm chit-chatting with the people in our YouTube thing. And for those of you that are Kingdom Hearts fans,
oh no.
Yeah, and I don't want to make this super long. I just happened to come across
No,
this.
you're good. Let's see.
Game Informer posted a rumor that they saw via Reddit that said Kingdom Hearts 3 Worlds leaked. More of them. Said a possible leak of Kingdom Hearts 3 Worlds was supposedly suggested that 100 Acre Woods is making a completely expected return to the series, and Frozen is making its first appearance. The leak, which we're classifying as a rumor, comes from the same source that pulled development screenshots of Kingdom Hearts 3's Monsters, Inc. world well ahead of the official reveal. It was first posted on Reddit, where the leaker looked at files from an FTP server, which stands for File Transfer Protocol, only because I use that literally every single day at work. Only file names were available, but it associated files from known worlds with found names for enemies and objects, allowing people to make educated guesses on the rest. The discovered files allegedly showed FR02 with a lot of associated icicle files and PO, which has things like vegetables and rabbit's house. The best guess on these is Frozen for the first one, possibly a musical world, and 100 Acre Woods for the latter. So I thought that was interesting and that it was well worth noting.
Damn, you made that sound like it was something bad until you started talking.
Yeah, I know. I thought we were about to make Kingdom Hearts 3 canceled.
Like, yeah, that's what I thought. You had me scared for a second there.
No, it was just some more rumors. So again, and they said it is just rumors. It's nothing that's set in stone yet, but that is something that a Reddit user came across, and I thought that was kind of interesting and cool to talk about. So, people of YouTube, you're welcome.
No. How's it going, Galaxy Guy? But yeah, in a nutshell, just so you guys know, I was not stating I don't like Dragon Ball Super. I dislike it more than the other series, but Dragon Ball in a general holds a special place in my heart and always will. Also, with that being said, with the fact that Super is a thing, I want it to continue. I want them to make every Dragon Ball show they can, and the reason is that means we'll have more video games, and that's what I care about.
Yeah, honestly, just give me Raging Blast 3.
Yeah, right. Give me Budokai 4.
Yeah.
Give me Legacy of Goku, something. You know, I'm very okay with them, continuing with Dragon Ball just because I can get more content. I'm okay with the content. Dragon Ball Super does feel more natural in English. I've never in my life been able to get behind Goku's voice in Japanese.
I can't get past it.
I've never been able to, and I still can't. So
I can't. Like I tried. I really tried. I can't do it. I can't do it.
What the fuck was that?
That's how Goku sounds.
Have you ever heard it?
It sounded like a Japanese car, like revving its engine.
That's how he sounds. It's exactly like that. So instead for getting ha, you're getting ha. It's like
hey, I can't watch it without busting out into laughter. Like I can't do it.
Oh my god.
I don't know.
I can't take it seriously.
I like Japanese voice acting and other shit. So I'm not making it sound like a don't. Just Dragon Ball's got to stop.
It's just that one, yeah.
Yeah, I can't do Dragon Ball's Japanese voice acting. I can't. So I don't watch Super often, as far as the fact that it's only in Japanese. When my friend comes over, he forces it on me, so I always get up to date because of him. But when I'm on my own, I just wait for it to come out in English personally. But regardless, I'm pretty caught up. I already know what's going on anyway. But that's not the point. Yeah. Was that?
Well. Dragon Ball talk.
Yeah, right. Was there anything you guys would like to touch base on, or a question that you would like to ask us that you want us to make a topic really quick right now before we decide to end if nothing happens?
Oh yeah, Q&A time.
Yeah.
Even though we were kind of mini in Q&A right there.
Well, here, let's put it this way: official Q&A, like right now.
Right now.
Because
for all 11
if you got a question, shoot.
Yeah.
If you would like to ask David a bunch of stupid questions about like great games that he hasn't played, he's got an entire list.
Hey.
Oh, you know what we should do to populate this Q&A? Let's just shoot out a message to Discord and let everyone know we have a Q&A going on right now if they have anything they want to ask.
Okay.
All right, so at everyone, Q&A right now.
Wait, are you doing it in yours or ours?
You do it in your own, boy. What's wrong with
you?
All
right.
What about your mother?
I ain't doing nothing, man.
Yeah, let your PR boy do
I just have one of our own mods grill me in my own Discord, so...
Yeah, I know, I saw that. I was like, hey, you need to calm down.
Alright, Teddy has name one Smash character each of you'd like to see in the new game. David, you want to go first?
Yes. Hold on just a second.
Well, he's not going first.
Okay, no, hold on. I got this. Alright, so, a Smash character I personally would like to see... And for me, it only makes sense just because they did bring out an amiibo with it, and I think it would be kind of cool, is the Altair guy from Dark Souls. I think that would be kind of cool. I mean, again, the fighting stance and everything would be very similar to that of, Link or Marth or Roy or anything like that. But I mean, like I said, it would only make sense to have him in there since you have an amiibo form. But in realistic terms, somebody I would definitely like to see, and I don't think it would ever freaking happen, is like a guy from Monster Hunter, because Monster Hunter was.
I can see it happening. Monster Hunter made it big on Nintendo platforms before it was anywhere else.
That's what I'm saying. Even just, and it doesn't have to be it could just be like a general character that they've shown in like some of their clips and everything. But I think that would be really, really cool since, again, Monster Hunter made its name on that platform. Might as well put him in there. Again, it's probably going to have the same move set as like Zelda, or not Zelda, Link or Roy or Marth, but it's another character that's part of that, universe, that the console generation or whatever the hell you want to call it. So
yeah. I would like to see, since we're getting the newer version of Zelda, maybe a newer version of Ganon, like an updated Ganon. That'd be kind of cool just to go along with Link. I don't know if that would be doable, but
okay. Well, what I want is Springman, because he's not confirmed, because I normally say Inkling, because I've said that about 1 billion times in the last 2 months.
Squidling.
My little Squidling.
Hey.
Roger Craig over there. But, I would like for them to bring Springman. And that whole thing about Cole McGrath, are you talking about the guy from freaking original Infamous? Is that his name?
Cole McGrath. That's,
I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh, yeah, it's Infamous.
That will never happen. Sorry, Christian. That wouldn't happen. That's a Sony-owned thing. And Nintendo and Sony are not friends because Sony's an ass.
I want Aloy.
I know, right?
No. I want the dude from Bloodborne. That would be baller as fuck. And that's just me. But again, Sony-owned franchise that is Sony exclusive. That would never happen.
Well, I just want my realistic Springman. If I was to choose a character that's like most likely to not happen, but I want it would be like the character from Cave Story or something. I don't know. It's hard to say because there's characters that would be realistic to get on there and actual good candidates rather than spitballing like Cat from Gravity Rush. But I don't know.
Yeah.
Let's see. So what is another? Are there any more questions at all, or are we ending? The female one from Tekken could show up. No, they don't really have a relationship with. No, they have a relationship with Bandai Namco. I don't know. If they were to do a Bandai Namco character, it would probably be
now.
It'd be like a Tails character if it was Bandai Namco. Something that they directly own.
Yeah. I would
see, again,
so.
It's like, okay, well, how...
Well, it's the people that create the Tails games that are assisting with Smash Brothers anyway, which makes it more likely to put Lloyd on there or something. Hell, Lloyd was a costume for Smash Wii U for your Mii's.
That's true.
So,
yeah,
they'd be more likely than anybody. Hell, how about some of those characters they fucking made costumes? How about they become characters? King K. Rool and Ashley and Lloyd and Shovel Knight. Was that a costume? Or am I just crazy?
Shovel Knight.
Was that a costume?
Shovel Knight would be big. Since Shovel Knight's been actually going in on a bunch of other games too.
Yeah, Shovel Knight wasn't a costume. It would have been nice if he was, I think. I don't remember if it was a costume.
Yeah, I mean, you could see Shovel Knight. I could definitely see.
Yeah, he would work.
Because, I mean, he would have a pretty good moveset, too. Because, I mean, there's... I don't like a kind of similar to the Smash genre, like Brawlhalla. Like, I would imagine Shovel Knight is like one of those Brawlhalla type of characters. I could definitely see him implemented into Smash very easily.
You know what? I'm actually kind of curious. Never made it into Smash. Was Banjo-Kazooie.
Oh, well, that's Sony. That's Microsoft owned now. That's why. That's just dumb.
Yeah,
but I'm saying, like, even on Smash for N64, that was a rare title, and it was a Nintendo product, and they could have thrown it on there. Now, since it's also on, and it's not Sony or Microsoft owned or anything like that, I wonder if they would do like ukulele just to bring that back to some life.
Well, the fact that ukulele bombed so hard, I don't know.
Yeah,
I'm just saying, it's a possibility. They could if they wanted to.
Like, Nintendo might want to just leave that trash where it came from.
yeah, it's just
Although
like
the
a
Switch version of ukulele is the better version of ukulele, I will say.
Is it really?
Yeah, that is pretty much the best version of the game, but
I may still get it then.
But because it came out late, it came out almost a full year late, so they had the chance to really polish it and make it the game it was supposed to be when it came out. So, and I've been thinking about buying ukulele on Switch, but I can't remember if it has a physical release or not. But if it does, that's where most likely where I do it, because if it's still shit, I can get rid of it.
True.
So, because I'm tired
Hey
of
Andros,
games.
do
Yes.
you play Paladins?
I do not play Paladins, but there apparently is a chance that it's coming to the Nintendo Switch. That'll probably be when I decide to. But the first time I played Paladins, I felt like I was becoming 3 years old again. So I didn't want to do it to myself.
Paladins is similar to
Overwatch.
Yeah, it's
Overwatch.
like Overwatch's whiny little brother.
Aren't they making like a battleground too? Like
They're making a battle royale style.
yeah, everyone wants to make a battle. Let's just have like Super Smash Battle Royale.
That would sound good though. I talked about that with somebody. You would just
Oh my
spawn
God.
like the Mushroom Kingdom, and then it's all like based on like a different game each area.
Like Fortnite, just with like Nintendo characters.
Basically,
That would be weird.
That's probably
you
gonna
play as
happen.
what we said is you play as your me, and you
No.
pick up costume pieces to make your character more like Mario or something, and that's like a weapon right there. You shoot fireballs.
No.
Ooh, I mean, that's not a bad idea, kind of.
No.
We're just spitballing.
I'm shooting it down right now. No, that would be so weird. Like,
Coming from the guy that
No.
played Ocarina of Time when he was like 30.
hey,
Got him.
Got he.
no, the only battle royale game that if they ever ended up doing it, I would be so amped for, since we're already on the topic, is Division 2. Because
no.
dude, can you imagine doing a battle royale system in like downtown New York where you're running around picking up guns and everything?
It sounds like a nightmare, to be honest with you.
Like, badass.
Tight corridors everywhere, and I'm having to jump off of skyscrapers. That's about it.
No, man, bring that, dude. That'd be awesome for me.
Oh
I
my!
think
You
that'd be
would
sick.
die in like 30 seconds. It would literally be like going to Tilted Tower on Fortnite, and everyone
Dude,
just dies. That's
I
all that
die
happens.
instantly on Fortnite
Like-
anyways. That's why people like watching me. Because they're like, this dude looks like he's good, but he's really shit.
How to reload in Metro 2033.
Yeah, as far as Fortnite is concerned, every time I play it, I always get like second place. So it's like,
That's pretty good.
yeah, I always get first or I always get second place. I've gotten first only with a group. I've never gotten first by myself. But I don't know. They need to add Fortnite to the Switch. They're adding. it to
well, I
fucking-
mean,
it's an insult. That they're adding it to phones,
yeah.
but not to Switch.
I think you'll get it. I don't know if it's maybe like a Nintendo thing, just not picking it up right now, or maybe I don't know.
Maybe
I mean,
they're
that's
just
kind of
saving it for E3 because it's a big deal.
yeah. I think it's very doable. I mean, I couldn't see why not. I mean, I really couldn't see why not. I think it would be a good idea. I mean, if I can play it on my Google Pixel 2, there's no reason I cannot play it on my Switch. Like that.
I will tell you that is in the works. Okay, there's no way that they're bringing it to the mobile and they're like, no, we're not doing it for Switch. You already have it on the PlayStation, you have it on PC, you have it on freaking Xbox, and you're gonna end up putting it on a mobile device. There's legitimately no reason why it can't go on a Switch. There's none. They are having it in the works. I will literally lay my freaking next paycheck down on that. There's no reason why it's not coming to the Switch.
Well, shit, prepare to get his paycheck. Wait, how soon?
Master Smash is saying that he has a friend saying that Fortnite can't run on the Switch.
That's bullshit.
That's yeah. It can.
Your friend does
easily
not own a Switch.
It can run on the Switch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's no way. Let me tell you.
Fortnite's not groundbreaking in any form, graphically or by intensity.
If it can run on a phone, okay, a phone that does not have a graphics card or anything, yet then saying that it can't run on a Switch is a complete and utter lie. Like, I'm sorry, you can tell your friend I say he's completely full of shit. I'm literally not even joking you. If it can run on this, it can run on a Switch, and I will be. I'm telling you, I will.
No, I mean, I know the chipset in the Switch is like very minor compared to like the consoles that it's currently running on. But like you said, Fortnite is very basic in terms of current games that are out right now. Like, you're not going to take up a ton of,
no
usage.
Yeah. Fortnite will run on the Switch.
Yeah. Now PUBG probably not.
No, PUBG can't run on anything right now anyway. So
yeah, it's not like.
Yeah, well, he's actually a dick to you. Fair enough. Well, did you guys have any more questions for us? Anything you would like for us to answer for you?
Battle Royale on Frostbite engine. Yes, I would take that any day.
It's funny. We finished. For those of you guys that missed the topics for the stream, I do apologize that you came late. This is although we did it on a different day. The PulsChat is something that we'll be doing every Tuesday, 8 p.m. Central Time. So keep that in mind. This is something we'll be doing every Tuesday. If you guys want to hang out, listen to the podcast, put in your 2 cents. We always have a Q&A. And we'll also be doing giveaways during. They will be like gift cards and stuff. That's something I'll be handling. But yeah. Anyway. Did I watch Deep Space 69? I have yet to watch Deep Space 69. I'd like to do a live reaction stream where you guys send me videos and I react to it. That's probably where I would do that, to be really honest.
Yeah.
How do you reload on Metroid 2033?
How do you reload? I don't remember. I only streamed that game like one time. If you're asking about Attack on Titan,
right bumper?
Yeah, I don't remember how to do it.
There's not. Wait, hold on. If you're playing Metro, why can't? Do they not have like a controller configuration thing in the settings?
Maybe. I mean, we could just look up the controls. Just Google the controls for them.
Yeah.
And also, Axel, I will play Attack on Titan when the new game comes out in a couple weeks because I'm getting Attack on Titan 2, so you'll see me playing that. Oh, and by the way, my sick critic homies, get Attack on Titan 2 for the Nintendo Switch, or I will have to kill you.
Sure. As soon as I can figure out how to play Splatoon with you guys, then
boy.
Like, I was about to go nuts the other day, so I'm like, oh yeah, finally got it. Let's play. And me and David are like, okay, we can't just do 2 of us in a game.
By the way, I want to let you know I did not grind to level 10 today. I
got to level 5. So
yeah, it's quite the bear.
My live reaction thing, I don't know when it's going to come up because I've got to have viewers that actually show up for streams, or else I would be sitting there reacting to nothing, and I will just be staring at my screen looking like an idiot until someone joins, which I don't want. So I'll let you know when it comes up. It will eventually, though. Hopefully before next month, but we'll see what happens. Are there any more questions?
You ain't got the answer, Sway.
I have a question for you, I guess. Fraley, why do you look like Roger Ken Smith?
Blame my genes.
Bounce pad.
All right, David, I have one more question for you. Where do you plan on working next?
What do you mean? Where do I plan on working next?
You're not going to be doing the voice acting anymore. You got to find a new job.
I mean, I could probably. I don't know.
Smoking a vape on YouTube. I don't think that's.
Jokes on
bad.
you. My monetization is turned off.
Who has a bigger? Never mind.
it's actually 0 nicotine. So I mean, I'm smoking air vapor.
I lost mine. So there you go.
Who is it? Oh my! Who is it? Jesus Christ!
Who owns the shortest pair of shoes? Probably me, because I'm the shortest one here.
Shortest pair of shorts.
Oh, shorts.
Still probably you.
Not. How tall are you? How tall are both of you?
I'm 5'11".
Bitch.
I'm 6'2".
Bitch.
How tall?
You're 5'1".
Wait,
I am not Rebecca's size.
Let me rephrase this. How short are you?
How short am I?
Yeah.
4'9".
I'm not Rebecca.
Hobbit.
Well, that doesn't answer my question.
I'm 5'7".
Okay, that's okay. Get out of here, man. You're still like
That's average height for a
Napoleon's
female.
You're still like Napoleon's height when he conquered the world. You're good.
Boy. Who has the worst haircut? David.
Bro, I don't even have any hair. I didn't know being bald was a haircut. I mean, look at this. Look, you can't pull my hair. It's
who has the worst bald
microscopic.
cut?
You know what my mom had to trim my hair with? Fucking tweezers. Okay.
Wow. What? So, like, you were that one kid in class that's been balding since 3rd grade?
Dude, that... Shh. Okay. I buzz it so that it doesn't show the receding hairline at my 40-year-old age, alright?
My God. Well, luckily you'd probably be okay without hair. You have that, like, Vegeta peak where it, like, just goes...
Now if I just... Hey, if I sit there
me out for the last time!
If I sit there and clench my fist and scream real loud, do I go Super Saiyan or shit my pants first? You decide.
God. That's freaking hilarious. Well, oh my God. Let's see. My friends always ask, "Are you?" That's not a question for.
No.
I don't think I want to answer that one just because that's a weird one.
Yeah, we're gonna avoid that.
Yeah, that's a weird one. That's
I don't really want to answer that one.
Yeah.
That's.
I mean, you can look at Fraley and tell just by his head.
Tell your friend to ask better questions.
Here's the thing. Let's try to keep these questions fairly game related when we do the Q&A. Like if you guys have questions
or us
on
related in general, I guess, but just PG.
Yeah, I was gonna say let's try to keep this like imagine this as being like somewhat family related. Like we're not gonna sit here and ask, you know, whose dick's bigger, who's been circumcised, how many times we've slept with women.
I like how I've refrained from saying it, and he said it anyway.
By the way, I have had the weirdest dreams. I'm gonna go out on record saying I have had the weirdest dreams.
We're like refraining from saying it. David just
he just throws it out there. He just throws it out there. The Magic School Bus made a story about my size. So fucking just throwing that shit out.
Oh
fucking conjunction junction. What's your function? Fuck.
I had a good joke, but I'm not gonna say it.
Well,
okay.
Any more questions before we end this in about 20 seconds?
Silence.
Well, I mean, he did ask who has the weirdest dreams, and I said me. So
mine are pretty weird, but it depends.
Mine are weird, but mine are also really freaking detailed to a point where like they're borderline realistic.
Have you ever not gone on a date because of a video game? 100% yes.
No.
Oh yeah.
No, never happened.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Labo had a new video come out an hour ago. I've already played Labo, so I'm not interested in watching videos. Has anyone ever had a dream where they were a video game character but died as the character? No, because my dreams are always badass and I win in the end. Like,
that's oddly specific though.
Yeah, I ripped a guy's spine out of his ears. It was great. But no, the dreams that I hate are like the ones where you feel like you're falling and then you like jerk awake or the dreams I have frequently where like it's not a dream but it is a dream and you wake up and you can't breathe or move at all.
Oh yeah, like you're like paralyzed.
Yeah, I have that a lot.
Yeah, I'm like, man, I'm dying.
Yeah, you literally feel like you're dying.
Dude, I woke up the other day and like my arm was numb, but it felt like I was like Fantastic Four like long. Like I felt like it was like stretching across the entire bed, like about to fall. I don't know. I was like, what in the world is going on here? I was just like flopping it around and I couldn't feel anything. It was weird. Super weird. That's not a dream, but that's oddly being situational.
All right, guys. Well, I guess this is where we're going to end this stream then. But for everybody that is here, thank you guys for joining. It was definitely great to have everyone here. But either way, we're going to end the stream here. Obviously, I don't know if you can tell, but I'm still dramatically under the weather. I've kind of been powering through this. Same thing with Grandma Fraley over here.
Yeah, sore throat, I will tell you, like, in about 45 minutes, I'm going to be taking some more cough medicine and hoping that my sore throat goes away, because talking
He's been on his knees for too long. Nothing. But
apparently I have a black lung. That's been the running joke going around here, is I have a black lung.
Oh, so. I just thought it's because you've been working your night job for too long.
Hey, name that movie. Name that movie. See if you can get this before we go. Got the black lung pop.
I can't name it.
Oh, come on.
I'm not old enough.
Anyone in chat, I got the black lung pop.
They're literally not old enough. I think the only one that's old enough is Furry Canadian.
What is it? What movie?
Merman. Nope. Nobody? Okay, Zoolander, but...
Oh, dude,
I didn't watch Zoolander.
I've never seen Zoolander.
Oh, you've never seen anything or played anything. You just live under a rock. I don't know.
Oh, and
I am the human form of Patrick.
And also, Furry Canadian, to answer that question, I actually made a video about that. Literally made a video about that exact.
Oh yeah.
I
forgot about that.
So here's this if you want to take a look at that video. But either way, this is where we're gonna end it. I obviously go with Sonic. They're obviously Mario because they're pansies. Alright guys, I'm gonna cue this theme song and I hope you all have a great evening.
Ciao.
Bye bitches!
Welcome to PulsChat. EGD and Sick Critic News. Join in!